were staggering by any measure. Here to talk about those numbers and more is CBS News senior business analyst Jill Schlesinger. Jill, good morning to you. The job loss numbers staggering, as we mentioned, but we're still not seeing the full extent of all this.
That's right, because remember, the jobs report takes place, the two surveys, in the first half of the month. And we certainly know that the second half of the month will bring far more people onto the unemployment rolls. And by many measures, it looks like that unemployment rate underestimates the true depth of these problems. And here's why. If you are not actively seeking work, you are not considered part of the labor force. Well, a lot of people who were surveyed said, I'm not looking for work. I'm not supposed to be out looking for work. That actually kept the unemployment rate artificially low. When we look at the broader unemployment rate, which is more far-reaching, that number is close to 23%. And you know what, Jeff? That number is agonizing to look at. We have not seen numbers like that since the Great Depression. This is 10 times the worst single month right after World War II, 25 times worse a single month that we saw in the Great Recession.
Right, but it also said that in the April report that wages were actually up. How does that work?
So strange, because you would say, how is that possible? Unfortunately, this is not good news. It's because the number of people who were low-wage earners were disproportionately impacted. They came out of the labor force, and then everybody else who's left in, it appears they got a wage increase. This is obviously really not the true picture of the labor market right now.
Also, Jill, worth pointing out that unemployment benefits and guidelines vary widely from state to state. Why is that, and what effect does that have?
It's very strange in the United States. It's unlike many other developed nations. We have a blended approach, a state and federal system, where essentially, as long as the states follow general guidelines that the government puts out, it can make decisions about eligibility for unemployment, length of unemployment. And so we have many areas where people are going to see their unemployment benefits basically run out just within a few months. Other areas of the country, they could last for longer. One good piece of information, of course, is that those enhanced unemployment benefits from the federal government, those last through July. That's that extra $600 a week.
Joe, we've talked about some of the businesses that were affected right off the bat here. The biggest probably being the restaurant industry. What are the latest industries and jobs that have been going away?
You know, we've been talking a lot about what happens to retail. We had two big retailers file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy this week. We had the high end, right, in Neiman Marcus, and then we had J. Crew, two very significant retailers. Now, it's unclear how many of their stores will reopen when they come out of bankruptcy, but there are going to be additional layoffs. We also saw Silicon Valley be impacted for the first time pretty significantly. A quarter of Airbnb workers let go. 17% of Lyft workers furloughed or laid off. And then there's Uber, where there's 14% of its workforce cut. So it's deep, it's troubling, and will hopefully get better in the next few months, Jeff.
Okay, Jill Schlesinger, thank you very much. Michelle, over to you.